everyone, so I'm here today with part 2 of my bookshelf tour. So this part is going to be the mishmash shelf, as I like to think of it. There's just really random stuff on it, everything from like kids books to many books I've never read that I've won on Goodreads, to really old kind of like charity books and whatnot that I might have read when I was younger. I don't know whether I read them or not. For the most part, this shelf is just a mess. So yeah, as ever, like with the last video, I will start off with the decorations. I don't have many on this shelf. I've just got this little like pot that I keep pens in, and I've got a keyring on, but I've not even been keeping everything in here properly recently, so there's not much on there. First of all, I've got a keyring from New York that a friend got me when she went there a couple of years ago. I've got this red nose day pen, which I bought just because it went to charity. And then I've got my pink fountain pen and just a gold gel pen. That was such an exciting little start there, wasn't it? It'll get better from here, I promise. So first of all, I've just got a couple of books that I keep at the front of this shelf because I'm running out of room. This is like the overspill. I'm just going to shove stuff on here and hope it fits shelf, basically. So first of all, I have got the Sweet Valley Twins, Brooke and Her Rockstar Mum. I'm not sure whether I've read this one or not. I feel like I got this second hand somewhere. So don't go judging the fact that it looks red as anything. It might even have been my mum's, but I don't think so, because what year was this published? 1991. Yeah, it definitely would have been my mum's. So I'm not sure where I got this. I'm not sure whether I've read it. I would like to give it a quick read because I feel like it would be a quick read and would kind of take me back to my childhood. I used to watch this TV show a lot as a child. In that same pile, I've also got The Spuddy by Lillian Beckwith, and I don't think I've read this either. Again, I can't tell you where I got it from. It's a really short read for the most part and just has loads of kind of blank pages between each chapter, so it probably won't take me long, and it's clearly about a dog, so I'd quite like to give this a read one day too. Next we have my childhood copy of Bambi, and this is the official Disney version, complete with teeth marks, because for some reason I chewed my books as a child. I don't know. I've read this many a time and would love to give it a reread because it'd take about 5 minutes, wouldn't it? Adorable. I've also got The Railway Children, the Ladybird Children's Classic version, which I got in July 1993 from my school. I know this because there's a book plate in there. So I can't remember why we got it, or whether everyone got it, or whether it was some sort of prize. I can't remember, but it's a really, really adorable version. I mean, it's got cute end pages, except for where I used it as like library tracking when I was younger, because I'd got my own personal library. But yeah, it's really cutely illustrated. Cute little scene there too. I'd quite like to give this version a reread because obviously it's like very much abridged, but at the same time I know the story of The Railway Children really well. I recently, maybe a year or two ago, listened to the unabridged audiobook, so it's not like I don't know the story, so it'd be quite nice to just read a little cheat version. Maybe this is how I'll recover my Goodreads failing challenge this year. Next we have a hardback, really adorable copy of A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and I loved this edition as a child. I read it many, many, many times. Well, I say that. I read it many, many times to about halfway. I don't think I read it to the end very often for some reason, but I think that this is such a really nice, small, adorable edition. Vettori's Damsel in Distress by Liz Fielding. I know that I won this in a Goodreads giveaway. I've not tried to read it. I probably will at some point, because otherwise what's the point in having it? It's just not very high up on my TBR at all. Then we have Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edgar Allan Poe. I'd quite like to give this a read sometime. I happen to have got this from like an ex-boyfriend's nan. Yeah. She gave it me because she knew I loved reading, so I'm not sure where she got them from because it seems to be in some sort of like collection, because it says on the back, next week, Christmas Stories by Charles Dickens. So I don't know whether it says anywhere. It's definitely part of some sort of series, because I've got a list in the sort of side as well as like what books, what one in the series. Maybe it's from like a magazine subscription or something. Anyway, I've never read it, even though I've had it maybe 15 years, but maybe one day. Next we have one of my most hated books, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've still got this because I'm not really someone who unhauls, and maybe one day I'll be able to get through it without hating my life. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not an unhauler though. This, I did a video, can't think what it was now, not that long ago, where I was talking about this and also the next book, which is of course going to predictably be Lord of the Rings, my great big huge edition, and saying that if I was to unhaul anything it would be these, but I'm not an unhauler. They're still part of my library. I love them in that way. Plus I quite like the cover. Everything's got to have something going for it. So yeah, then we have my huge edition of Lord of the Rings, which I suppose isn't necessarily the most accessible of versions to own, because it's just never ending, really small, never ending font in a huge uncomfortable book. So I'm thinking at this point maybe I should just watch the films and then maybe give this another go. I'm not sure. I've not managed to get through it yet though. Next we have Out of This World, The Story of Muse by Mark Beaumont, and I've read this. Yay, something I've read. And I really enjoyed it. Muse are one of my favourite bands. I've seen them live several times, and when I found out this was coming out I wanted it because I'm a proper fangirl and wanted everything. So this does have a few pictures in it, but it just talks about their whole career up to the point of this being written, which was around the time of the second Law tour, I think. I really enjoyed it. If you're into Muse and you haven't read this, it is actually worth picking up. Next we have my very beaten, battered childhood version of The Enchanted Wood, The Magic Faraway Tree and The Folk of the Faraway Tree, which is a trilogy, or I think it got extended into a 4-book series in the end, but I don't have the 4th one, by Enid Blyton, and I think the 4th one was added a lot after this too. Like, this is really old. I mean, my copy is from the 90s anyway, and it's falling apart, literally. I mean, I used to read this over and over again. Used to love rereading it, and like I feel like I can still see crumbs in between the pages and like smell almost even the biscuits that I used to eat while reading this. I love this, proper classic. In the same collection and also in a similar state, we've got the Wishing Chair books. So this is Adventures of the Wishing Chair again, and Stories for Bedtime. I adored the Wishing Chair stories, not quite as much as the Faraway Tree, but it was still really good. And again, evidence that it must have been because it's falling apart. Next we have Enid Blyton's The Flyaway Broomstick and Other Stories. I've read some of these, I don't think I ever read all of them. I do remember reading The Flyaway Broomstick and loving it, but yeah, I was just very into Enid Blyton as a child. It was something that was kind of like popular to read around my age, around that time. And even before then, obviously, she's a very, 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 at this point, almost kind of modern classic children's author. This is ridiculously sized font. I do remember this story, Oh Mr. Meddle. I just happened to click past it and that picture. Love doggies. But yeah, kind of real nostalgia with these Enid Blyton books. Here we have another Enid Blyton book, and this is The Happy House Children. I know I read this several times, and again this is really falling apart. Oh, it's actually falling apart, I should be careful. This is old. Like, this is proper traditional old paper, like, you know, when you smell it and it smells kind of almost vanilla-y. I wonder when this was published. Price 3p. Bargain. Pay 3p for a book anytime. Oh, you know a book's old when you can't see the publication date in the front anywhere. But this is, oh no, this impression, 1969 this was published. So, yeah, it's getting quite delicate at this point. I love it though. Here we have the contents, by the way. So we've got Moving Day, A Dear Little House, Someone Else for a Happy House, Benji is Very Upset, Oh Where Can Patter Be, The Kitten and the Cuckoo Clock, Tea with Miss Plum, Patter Has an Adventure, Benji Goes to Bed, and Jane and Mummy's Birthday. Just in case you're not aware of how much I enjoyed Enid Blyton books as a child, we've got another collection. This one's 12 Silver Cups and Other Stories. I'm not sure where I got this one from. Don't remember reading this one much, to be honest, either. I feel like we might have like picked it up at like a car boot or something, because it just doesn't feel like one that I grew up with initially. I'm sure there's one I'm missing actually. I'm meaning to ask my mum. I'm sure I've got one in this collection with a different cover. I think it's like a purpley cover. I can't remember what it's called at all. If by some miracle you know what book I'm on about, please let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, this one's got a cute dog on the cover though. Next we have a book that I got either from school, most likely from school actually, or from university. No, it must have been school, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, it's a poetry collection by Carol Ann Duffy. I don't remember much about it anymore. Yeah, I've been to school. I've just seen a note and I said, what picture of childhood does Duffy present in these poems? Links across poems. Thursday. Homework due in. But yeah, these are very heavily narrated. Annotated even. And in some ways it pains me. In other ways it's nice to look over it and be like, I mean, someone who had this book before wrote it in pen, for God's sake. Like, come on, at least I used pencil. That is me with the pencil. Don't write in books in pen. Next we have Monkey King by Nathan Tamblyn. I got this in a Goodreads giveaway. I haven't got a clue what it's about. It looks like it'd be a really, really quick read though. Stop falling. Do other people just suffer with books falling everywhere when they try to do a bookshelf tour? Next we have Cheetaka, Queen of Giants by Geeta V. Reddy. Not got a clue what this is about. I also got this in a Goodreads giveaway, which I haven't entered for many years, so these I have owned for years and years and years. A fantasy in giant land, it says. Next we have Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino. I don't know what this is about either. It's another Goodreads giveaway book, and it's actually signed and personalised, so this is what happens when American authors see my name and I'm not there to actually correct them. To Christy. Christy, thank you so much for the support. I mean, it's still cute, and I think I remember really wanting to read this when I got it, and then I just never got around to it, which is a shame. I will read it one day. Next we have Hitler Burns Detroit. Not a clue. Another Goodreads giveaway. Personalised. Next we have W.B. Bugs Change of Heart by David English. Not a clue. Another Goodreads giveaway book, and also signed and personalised. To Kirsty, you're the best. Then we have Falling for the Wingerman by Krista McHugh, and this is a romance, an adult romance, and it's personalised, and I've read it, and I've actually read other books by this author since. Something to do with Queen Bee in the title. I can't remember now. Really enjoyed them. They were YA. This one is adult, and I've been meaning to sort of pick up the rest of the series. I think I've been collecting them on Kindle. I've just not read them yet. Really enjoyed this, and it was proof to me that you don't judge a book by its cover, because if I was to see this in a bookshop, I probably wouldn't pick it up. That was what I enjoyed with the Goodreads giveaways. I picked up things that I wouldn't otherwise have picked up, and I enjoyed many of them. Next we have Dragon Dreams by Dusty Lynn Holloway, which is from the Chronicles of Shadow and Light. I'm guessing this is some sort of, yep, definitely fantasy. An elf hunted by dragons. I've not read this. It's another Goodreads giveaway book, and it is personalised. Kirsty, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it. Love, Dusty. Hopefully I will enjoy it whenever I do get to it. I feel really bad that this shelf is making me look like some sort of Goodreads giveaway hoarder. I have read a lot of them, just this is the I can't fit books on, and a lot of them just tend to be Goodreads giveaways books I've not read. So this is another Inquisitus, I can't say it, I'm having a really bad can't say that word day, Lives by Richard Gardner. I haven't got a clue what it's about. Then we have another one that is another giveaway one, and this is Pets Aplenty by Malcolm D. Welshman. I literally went for this one because of the cover. It looks a really fun read from what I remember. It's meant to be quite like humorous, but yeah, I've not read it yet. Then we have another Goodreads giveaway one. I've read this one though, I've actually read this one. This is The Immortals of Melua, which is the first book in the Shiva trilogy. Anyway, from what I remember, because it has been quite a few years since I've read this was like some sort of Indian fantasy kind of book. Really, 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 really diverse, can I just say? Before everyone started getting on the diverse train, diverse as heck. I'm quite happy to read diverse books. I just don't want to be pushed into it, basically. So I really enjoyed this. Again, a really big surprise. I don't feel like I would have necessarily even considered reading the back of this one if I'd seen it in a bookshop. So yeah, go out of your comfort zone sometimes. It can pay off. And we have here another Goodreads giveaway book, again, that I have read. See, I have read some. This is String Bridge by Jessica Bell. This one was about a woman who, her husband dies, I think, in a car crash. But there was all this other stuff going on as well. It's kind of quite drama filled, and it's got music in it as well. It's, yeah. I hope that wasn't a spoiler. I can't remember this book at all. I think the rule of thumb should probably be, if you can't remember a book, don't talk about it. Really, really enjoyed this one though. Really recommend actually picking this up. It got definitely a very heavy focus on music, but I can't remember details. And finally we have here The Unexpected Wedding Guest by Amy Carson. Not read it, Goodreads giveaway book. We'll get to it one day. Next we have here Gigi Snowboards, the first book in the series by Marty Mockler Banks. This was another Goodreads giveaway book. I've read this one. This one's also signed. This one is a middle grade book about like kids and snowboarding. I realise that probably looks quite obvious from the cover, but I don't remember more than that. It's been a good few years since I read it, and I thought it was, you know, a fun, adorable read. I do remember thinking it was quite strange that there was like photos in it though. Then we have Arabella, The Moon and the Magic Mongongo Nut by Hamilton Wendy. This is fantasy, I think, or, you know, something like that. Not got a clue, have I? Come on, just admit it, I've not got a clue. To Kirsty, believe in the magic you find. Magic then. Magic. I suppose it's got magic in the title, hasn't it? Next we have a book that I have had since a child, or maybe it was my brother's and I stole it. I'm not really sure. But this is Mr. Tickle in a Tangle. I'm sure anyone from the UK, I don't know whether it's like an American thing or not, is familiar with like the Mr. Men and Little Miss books. So they were fun. Maybe I should read something like this to boost my Goodreads reading goal. Then we have Death Must Go On, or Must It by Mac Fletcher. This is another Goodreads giveaway book. I've not a clue what it's about, but that cover is disgustingly creepy. Do you not think that that is just like weirding you out? Look at his face. Also signed and personalised. And we have My Brother's Keeper by T. Bass, M.T. Bass. And I can't remember what this is about either. Oh, this one's signed too. I don't know what it's about, but I can show you a signature. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Next we have The Galapagos Incident by Felix R. Savage. And this is some sort of sci-fi space opera kind of book. That's definitely all I know about it. Then we have Lawrence Block, which... oh no, that's the author. Okay. This book is so confusing. Borderline by Lawrence Block, with a really bizarre looking cover that reminds me very much of Joyland by Stephen King. It's probably from the same sort of like crime series, I'm guessing, in terms of like publisher wise. I don't know. I'm waffling. I've not got a clue, have I? Let's face it. Goodreads giveaway win. Next we have Lady in Red by Evie King. I feel like I had a flick through of this and started it and then gave up on it, with plans to go back to it one day. And then we have From Knowledge to Revelation, My Testimony of God's Mercy and Grace. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea to grab. I might actually unhaul this, even though I've not read it. Why did I get a book about God? Maybe I wanted to have a think and question it more at that age, but now I'm definitely not interested. I don't know. I can't fit everything back on. How did everything come off this shelf? So first we have another God book. I'm really confused. I don't know why I was getting God books, but okay. So this is God in the Lab, How Science Enhances Faith by Ruth M. Banswicks. I probably won't unhaul this one because it might actually turn out to be quite interesting since it's got the science aspect with it too, but yeah, I do wonder why I got this. Then we have The Territory by Sarah Govett. Apparently this is a gripping debut novel, the first in a trilogy shortlisted for the Times Chicken House Children's Prize. I haven't got a clue. Got some swag in it though. Thank you for entering our Goodreads giveaway. Congratulations, hope you enjoy it. Next we have a book that I thought I would end up using at some point, and I've even pulled out several times and I've just never actually sat down and gone through. And that is Getting Started in Writing Young Adult Fiction. Even though I might not end up writing YA, I'm not sure what genre I totally want to go for yet, because I've got a few different ideas that are in different genres and age brackets and whatnot. I'm not sure yet, but I'd like to keep hold of this in case I do end up going down the YA route. It might be helpful. Next we have Mindfulness, Plain and Simple, which is a gorgeous cover, so I'll not even question why I've got a book about mindfulness. Unless I was going through some stress at the time, I don't know. Then we have It Takes a Fool, A Tough Lesson Learned on Bullying by Sasha Dreams. That's actually a really cute cover. It says, thank you for the support. And then another one, and this is The Firefighter to Heal Her Heart by Annie O'Neill. I haven't got a clue. It'll be a romance looking at it, without a doubt. Ooh, it's signed. Dear Kirsty, I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I can't read that person's writing at all. Then we have Hard Times 2nd edition, Banged Up Abroad, Raving Arizona, Sean Atwood. That's seen on the National Geographic channel. I got this from a Goodreads giveaway too. I don't have a clue. Apparently it's worth having signing because they put a sticker on it. Oh, I just scratched my chin with this one there. I got a right paper cut on my chin. So this is My Mam Shirley by Julie Shaw, and this is a true story of Yorkshire's notorious criminal family. I desperately want to read this. I got this in a Goodreads giveaway, and the moment it came to the door I was like, oh my god, I need to read this like now, and I've still not read it, and this is reminding me of my doing this tour. It's not overly long. I really want to pick this up soon. Next we have another Goodreads giveaway book, but I've read this one. This is Stuck in the Passing Lane by Jed Ringel. This is a memoir. I really enjoyed it. It ended up being really quite funny and dark and interesting, and like, it's amazing how into a book you can get with a memoir when you don't even know anything about the person before picking it up. But I loved this. Highly recommend. Another Goodreads giveaway book that I haven't read, and that is a story about life, death, love, sex and swearing, When Mr. Dog Bites by Brian Conaghan. Looks quite a controversial book. Parental advisory, explicit content. You don't really see that on books, do you? Might be quite a fun one though. Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradbury and Jean Greaves. Goodreads giveaway book. Not a clue why I even got that. Oh, childhood favourite. So we've got Spring Awakening, which is a book from the Animals of Farthing Wood series by Colin Dan. And oh, I used to love this book so much. I mean, even just those end pages. This is another childhood nostalgia one right there. Look at those little fox cubs. I want to reread this night now. Even though my mum's about to come around, I just want to read that now. Then we have The Tortoise Fair by John Patience. I don't really know. I feel like I did read this when I was younger, but I just don't remember it. I don't get the whole nostalgia kick with this one that I have been doing with a lot of the others. This page does look familiar. Again, gorgeous end pages. Kids' books just rock the end pages. Look at that map. Finally, we have Getting Away With It by Victor Davis. I got this. So when I was younger, my local bookshop in the town I lived was called Ottakers. It's more recently been turned into a Waterstones, but back in the day it was just a sort of standard bookstore. I'm not sure whether it was like a chain or not. I couldn't tell you. I should probably Google and have a look. But this was given to me, like, there's some sort of promotion on where if you spent a certain amount on books, they'd give you a free book. And it would be a free book totally at random. And this is the one they gave me. And I was quite young at the time. Like, I was in my teenage years. Like, early teenage. And I got given this, like, advanced proof coffee book. And I was like, what do I want a boring yellow book for? But I read the books that I'd bought, and then I was like, oh, I've got nothing to read now. I guess I will read this. This was very inappropriate for the age that I was. There's a lot of sex in this, a lot of swearing. But it was also a really bizarre read. I can't remember it properly because things like the sex and the swearing are the things that stand out the most. But I kind of want to reread this. I feel like there was definitely some sort of murder going on or something like that. There was multiple perspectives. Yeah, I think it got a bit like gangy or gangstery or something and crimey, and overall I actually ended up really enjoying it. I think that could have gone terribly if a different person my age had ended up with this book. I'm now croaking and dying because I've been talking for far too long because I'm in a chatty mood today. I'm also filming a vlog and some other videos today, and all I've done is chat through all of those too. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this part. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!